Gonna be honest, don't really know what I'm doing.
He was often a player that I would buy on Football Manager.
It's already a terrible reason.
From Jon Snow, Matt puts Dan's wardrobe to shame.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Look at him, the cat that got the cream.
Ian Taylor said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life.
My theory on referees is you give them the nicest changing room in the stadium.
It's just the most bizarre thing I've ever
Hear me out.
I cannot believe Gabriel Bondahor's.
That's crazy,
That's
isn't
terrible. Yeah, we may well have lost listeners early doors again with a long-winded intro. Go, shoot. Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast with myself, Dan Bardell, and back from paternity leave, Big Daddy Julian. Actually, not Big Daddy Julian. Average Daddy Julian. Yeah. I don't see Big Daddy Julian catching on.
Medium-sized Daddy.
Yeah, medium-sized Daddy Julian. How are you?
Not bad. Very tired, actually. I was going to say not bad and kind of breeze through it, but...
You don't look tired. You don't look any more tired than you usually do when you're on the podcast.
I mean, to set the scene, it's quite early this morning. We're doing it before Dan starts work. I've still got a few days off, which is quite nice. But, yeah, a lot of time in hospital. Little Alfie's, he's a joy, but he's not very well.
No.
And
I'm laughing. I laugh because you laughed.
Yeah, well, he's not seriously ill, but he would just keep going back in. It's a bit annoying.
Yeah.
A bit annoying for Hannah as well, but everyone's all right.
Yeah, you might want to skip the first 5 minutes of the podcast if you're not interested in Tom's personal life at all, because I imagine that's what the first 5 will be. How you adapting to fatherhood?
It's a weird one, really, because you kind of think about the poos and stuff like that before it happens.
I mean, that wasn't the first thing I was expecting to say.
This is it. You think about the poos and you're like, oh, it's kind of gross, but you're going to have to make do. But when you've got a little boy, you just kind of have to deal with it straight away before he wheezes on you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Have you had anything like that happen to you?
Oh, yeah, I got a bit on the cheek yesterday. Unpleasant. But no, we got to watch Alfie's first game was a Second City derby together, so that was quite nice. Quite a nice moment. I mean, he wasn't particularly interested in it.
Had his shirt on. Did he have his shirt on?
Had his shirt on,
yeah.
And his shorts, white shorts.
And his white shorts.
Couldn't be bothered with the socks, to be honest. Aston Villa, you can only buy the whole kit. You can't just buy the shirt.
They've got you there. They've had you there.
They have, haven't they? It's like, well, how are you going to put these tiny socks on a 4-day-old baby? It's not worth it.
It's a good first game, though.
Yeah, great first game.
Yeah.
It's had a nice first week, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Lots of goals since Alfie's been born. I was very supportive, wasn't I, when you were going through, when Hannah went into labour and you texted me saying I can't do the podcast anymore. I said that I can imagine you trying to be really helpful during labour, but just being annoying.
It's quite important to note that as the father figure in the labour process, all you really do is kind of rub the back, go, keep pushing, keep fetching water.
That's what I mean. That's annoying. That would annoy me.
Yeah, keep going as if she doesn't have enough to worry about. It was amazing though. Labour is an amazing experience.
Yeah, it took a long time as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it's like 24 hours.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to talk about Villa-wise, so we don't have to talk about the baby too much.
I quite enjoy to talk about you. You've obviously not been here for a few weeks. I'm sure a couple of people asked me how you were doing at Villa Park last week at the Forest game. I couldn't tell you who it was who asked me, but I'm sure a few people asked. My dad made me laugh. My dad doesn't really do texting or anything. He's so lazy on the text. But as soon as I said that you'd had a baby, he wanted your number. Why?
He sent me a message.
He texted you. I can't believe he's going to text Tom.
It was really nice. Thank you to all the people that messaged. It was very, very nice to read those. Thank you. It's lovely, really. It's great. It's a complete life change. There's a few questions here saying what the biggest highs. The biggest high so far has been the Villa win. The Villa Birmingham win. Watching it with Alfie was really nice.
Did you watch any NFL? I bet you've put him through.
No, do you know what? I thought again when I thought we were pregnant, I was like, I'd watch all the NBA, watch all the NFL. It'd be great. When he wakes up, it's just, how do we stop him crying?
Yeah.
And so far I haven't hit the chill button where it's just just let him cry and I'll put on the Steelers.
I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I do feel like it's something I have to say, and at least if I say it on the podcast, it's there. Can the christening not be the day the Villa are playing, please?
Well, you have to book in your christening fairly early. It'll be a Sunday, obviously.
What if the game gets unlikely to move to a Sunday? Yeah.
So unless it's a derby game, that would be quite unfortunate.
Well, you already know when that is, so
You're definitely coming to the Christmas.
Well, if I was invited, I'd come, Tom. It was a bit presumptuous of me that I'd be invited. I assumed because I was at the baby shower, I'd be invited to the christening.
Oh, you got to keep up. You got to keep up with the baby. You got to meet him.
I want to see your mum and dad again as well, and your sister. I've deciphered at the baby shower that I think your sister prefers me to you.
Haven't you deciphered that from every member of my family?
No, not just yet. But I'm a bit more of a laugh the new era things. I think your sister's she likes a drink.
She does.
Yes, I think she just preferred me. That was my opinion.
Well, you met her at my birthday a few years ago.
Yeah.
So that connection's taken a little while to manifest itself.
Yeah, but let's not dwell on that. Let's get into Villa.
Right, okay.
Now, I've called it. That's 5 minutes. You've had your 5 about your life.
Right, thank you.
No need to ask me how my life is.
How is your life?
Really boring, mate.
You sound quite ill.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with
We
my
should
throat.
say, sorry, last week, no podcast. Dan and Chris had to kind of pull it off.
I mean, it was very kind of you to blame Chris.
Well, I'm not
nothing
blaming
to do with Chris.
but I couldn't step in and do it with Chris because I was kind of bit busy. But you've been a bit under the weather.
Still struggling with it, and I actually had some proper work to do last week, which really hindered me. So I had to put that first.
I mean, for me, it's a benefit essentially because it means that I get to talk a bit about the Birmingham game, about the Forest game.
I mean, a lot of time's passed since then now. Well, a week.
But
yeah. I mean, you're in charge of the notes, so it's up to you what you do.
3 games in the last week. I think we should definitely touch on it because we haven't in the podcast so far. What do you want to do? Do you want to do the Borough game first and then work back?
Yeah, well, let's work backwards.
You like to work back, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. So, Borough 0, Villa 3. Comprehensive. We camped in their half. What did you make of it?
I just thought it was a complete performance. I thought we were never, ever in trouble in that game. Obviously, it could have turned at 2-0 when Neeland tipped that shot from Hugo.
Yeah.
Onto the bar. That could have completely changed the game. So I imagine they were quite direct anyway, but I imagine that would have led to us hanging on a little bit. As it was, Neeland made the save. We ran at the other end, and Glenn Whelan scored the goal of his life.
Yeah, kind of.
So it turned into a comfortable win, but I felt we were comfortable all the way through. I just never felt in trouble. I mean, wasn't at the Derby game, and it wasn't on telly, so I didn't see it all the way through. But apparently, this was a more complete performance against Middlesbrough. We were just dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, and it's so pleasing to see as well. And Dean Smith comes out after the game and says it's an almost perfect performance. And when he's saying that, because he's been so not critical of the team, but driving perfection essentially. When he's saying that, and we're going in and beating a championship contender, essentially, you know that this is a Villa team on the up.
Yeah, and you look, we've actually got a few injuries as well. But I thought El Ghazi came in. He'd not really started any game, I don't think, since Smith's been here, and he's barely started since he's joined the club. I thought he was unbelievable. I thought he was so good, not just going forwards. I just thought he was so good going back. You could see that again. You can just see that the players are coached. You can see that there's stuff that's worked on training. His tracking back was excellent. He won the ball back for us a couple of times as well. And him and Balassi on the wing are just a threat, aren't they? Because they're both just so tricky and are both just so direct and powerful. Yeah,
I've got Balassi in my notes. I just thought he was immense and all day just being so tricky, and you can't defend him because he's a Premier League player.
Yeah, and he'll only get better the fitter he gets as well. I think it's good that competition for places as well, because I'd have said that Adoma was probably undroppable before that game just because of his defensive work, but then now Ghazi comes in and basically mirrors it defensively and arguably look more dangerous than Adoma does going forward. So it's good to have competition for places. Obviously Kodjo played on the wing against Birmingham, and Forest, he scored against Birmingham. He's on the bench now. So Smith's shown as well, if you take your chance when you're in the team, you'll stay there, and if you don't, like Kodjo didn't do it the game after against Forest, and he's lost his place. So it just shows you've got to play well to stay in this team.
What did you make of Tammy Abraham just continuing this unreal form?
He's just such a good striker, especially at this level. I mean, you know that when we first heard quite early doors that we were linked with him, we both wanted him because we knew he could score 20, 25 goals. I mean, he's already on his 11. Now that's a great return at this stage of the season, considering he only joined on the last day of August. What a return that is. He gets a lot of chances, but he puts himself in good positions. They're completely different types of players, but Harry Kane scores so many goals because he has so many chances and he's so involved in the game and in the penalty area, outside the penalty area. Abraham's a bit the same. He gets a lot of chances. Even against Forest, when he scored 4, he could have had 6. Yeah, and arguably missed a couple of easier chances than some of the ones he scored. So he's just a great player. And there's obviously the rumours now that Chelsea want him back in January. I don't see that materialising.
I was going to come on to that. Brett Leader says any recall clause in Tammy's deal or any of the others, both in and out. The Birmingham Mail this morning saying that Chelsea are investigating possibilities, but that may just be paper talk.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads to the impression that they do have an opportunity to take him back.
But if you look back to this time last year, I mean, I've got to be honest, I don't know for fact about Tammy, but I knew for fact about Snodgrass last year that they couldn't call him back, yet the papers were saying, West Ham, David Moyes, the Scotland link, they're gonna call Snodgrass back in January. So I'll try and find out. But I don't see it, because Sarri isn't going to call him back, and he isn't going to play ahead of Giroud and Morata. So he's not going to want to go back to Chelsea to not even be on the bench.
He's loving life as well, isn't he?
He is. He's very passionate as well.
All of the celebrations where he's giving it big licks against Birmingham, and he totally gets it, and the fans love him. And even when we were struggling under Bruce, Tammy Abraham was one of the players that wasn't getting booed. Essentially, there was a whole raft of boos, but they weren't reserved for Tammy Abraham.
No, and he didn't get many chances when Bruce was there. Let's face it, in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net, 'cause we weren't creating anything, and he was looking frustrated. Now he must be loving it.
It just seems madness, doesn't it? That like a couple of months ago, you and I were sitting here talking about how we were chasing the game, but yet nobody was in the box, and we had nobody to put the ball away. Now Tammy Abraham's scoring 4 in a game, and we've got so many players in the box. That just seemed like the most basic bit of coaching 101 to me. And Balassi, we'll come on a bit more to Balassi, I think, in the next hour or so, but he's just putting the ball in after and after and after. And like you say, with Adoma, with El Ghazi, with Kodja, all we're doing is feeding Tammy Abraham and the midfielders that are arriving afterwards, and we're getting shots off, if not goals.
Yeah, I noticed something in the Borough game at the weekend as well. I think Balassi put the ball across, and it was just past Tammy. He couldn't get there, and he went to the back stick, and there was no one there. And you could see Tammy was saying to El Ghazi, "You're supposed to be at the back post. That's where you should be." So you can see that the instructions are that get players in the box. When Hourihane moved into the more advanced position, obviously he got himself in the box at the end of the game and teed it up for Whelan, coming in as the deep line midfielder. And I know it was a bit of a joke goal, really, but the deep line midfielder under Bruce was just stuck on the halfway line. Whelan wouldn't have been that. I know he wasn't in the penalty area, but Whelan probably wouldn't have been that far forward. I know it's a bit easier when you're not chasing the game and they're chasing the game. It does be trying to get themselves back in, but so many good signs.
Well, we wouldn't have got to that point, I don't think, under Bruce. Like you say, we would have just kind of maybe gone 1-0 up and then settled, or gone maybe 2-0 up and kind of held on.
That didn't happen very often.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Go 1-0 wasn't happening too often either.
But that's it. And like you say, Smith's philosophy is just to push on and push on and push on, and having Whelan at the edge of the box just seems absolute madness. But fair play to him. He's come under a fair bit of stick, probably the most of any under Smith's, apart from Neeland, under Smith's era so far. You are of a slightly different opinion that it's not deserved as much as maybe it's made out to be.
I don't really think anyone did deserve stick.
When you win 4 in 5, it's hard. I
don't see the point. I just don't see the point of it. It's not going to achieve anything. When people are going on social media and absolutely panning Neeland and atting him in it, and I know that the players read social media. What does it achieve? It's not going to make him play any better, is it? Even if you want a new goalkeeper, we can't get one till January, so it's counterproductive. There's literally no point to doing it. But there just seems to be a weird mentality on social media that you have to abuse people. I mean, fair enough if it's Piers Morgan, that's all well and good.
Yeah, sure.
But anyone else,
there's always an exception to the rule, right?
What's the point of going on there and abusing your own players? I just cannot understand it. Or abusing the guy that does your fan channel. What's the point?
I mean, I don't understand why anyone abuses you.
No, when we didn't win on Wednesday, someone tweeted me something and I sent it to Rollo and he was like, "Oh good, this has started again." Just because we've not won, it's nothing to do with me.
It's your fault.
I know.
Always your fault. What did you think of El Mohammadi returning to right back in place of suspended Hutton?
He's just consistent. He doesn't do the spectacular at all, but he'll always offer you a 6, 7 out of 10. El Mohammadi, I thought he played quite well, and I'd still say he's been in one of our top 3 or 4 performers this season. El Mohammadi, I think he's been very consistent when he's played. He's played different roles and played them pretty well. I just like him there. I like him at right back. But he's difficult with Hutton. Someone asked a question, didn't they, about would you put Hutton straight back in? It becomes difficult now because Hutton's obviously played so well against Blues, scored that goal against Blues. Obviously, defensively, no one was brilliant in the 5-5 the game after. I think it'd be harsh to take Hutton out, and I don't think you can take Taylor out at the moment. I think he's been pretty consistent. I think he's been the equivalent, basically, of Al Mohammed. At left back, he's been very consistent since Smith's come in.
He's the other one, along with Whelan, where if you have to criticise somebody, Taylor kind of gets short shrift. I know lots of Villa fans don't like Taylor, and perhaps rightly so. He's not the best defender. We haven't seen the best of Taylor still, but he's been very consistent since Smith came in, and we're keeping a lot more clean sheets. And Taylor surely has something to do with that.
4 in 8.
Yeah,
he just offers us a bit of balance. With Hutton there's no balance because he hasn't got a left foot. So I like Taylor there. I'd pick at the moment. I'd pick Taylor every single week.
Yeah,
if he's fit, purely because there isn't really anyone else a proper left back there other than Taylor. As I say, like. This time last year, I presume Jack was returning from injury or had just returned from injury. But there's people last year panning Jack. Oh, he's never going to make it. He's never going to be good enough. Now he's our best player. Bjarnason, I remember people were saying, oh, he's never the same. He's never going to make it. He's not going to be good enough. Now people love him.
I was definitely in that camp.
You just have to give people a bit of time sometimes. Even like. Hogan came on the other night. Just looked a completely different player. It was only 10 minutes, but he made that goal essentially, didn't he?
I've got Hogan. I've got Hogan in the notes. I thought it was really nice to see him. Obviously, he has that relationship with Smith. Smith trusts him from his time at Brentford. So it was great to see him and going at defenders because we didn't see it again. He was a target man, wasn't he? Or just lump the ball forward and let him chase it.
Yeah, pointless. I mean, he's going to struggle to get in the team.
Yeah, sure.
We're only going to play one up front, and Tammy isn't going to be shifted very easily, is he, with his 11 goals? But you need a squad.
Yep.
You definitely need a squad. So he'll get a chance at some point, but unless Abraham gets injured, I find it difficult to say how Hogan's going to start games. But again, like I say, at least when players get the chance, and if they do well, they probably stay in the team. Whereas under Bruce, that wasn't happening. People were doing well, and then as soon as someone came back, they would drop. Like Elphick had 2 really good games around Christmas last year. And okay, it's John Terra, but he was dropped straight away. For John Terry, I don't really think that sent out the right message, to be honest. If you play well and you've got the shirt, you should be able to have a chance of keeping that shirt.
Well, speaking of centre-backs, let's move on to the... unless you want... Is there anything else you want to highlight from the Borough game?
I don't know. I'd rather focus more on that one just because it was more recent.
I just want to pick up on what you're talking about there about centre-backs and panning people generally, because James Chester came under a lot of criticism. I mean, nobody...
I've forgotten about that.
Nobody in a 5-all, no defender is going to cover themselves in glory in that one.
But it's a team thing. It's not just the defence. It's not just the goalkeeper. I mean... The midfield for that Forest game, the first couple of goals, they just walked through us.
Yeah.
That's not just down to the defence, is it? I mean, I agree there was mistakes from the defence within some of the goals, and a mistake from the goalkeeper within some of the goals. But with the keepers as well, every keeper makes mistakes. Look at Pickford yesterday. An absolute clanger at the end of the Merseyside derby.
I think... in that Forest game, Joe Lolly absolutely ran the game, didn't he? He looked so sharp.
3 assists, didn't he?
4 assists and a goal. He scored the long ranger, didn't he? So
Villa fan as well, Joe Lolly.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's tough.
I mean, I've looked at that one a lot of times with Neeland. I still can't really work out
whose fault it is.
What happened.
Yeah.
Like whether it was just it moved in the air, bananaed a little bit in the air, or whether he wasn't in the corner, so maybe he should have got that. I think he just took him by surprise. The 5th one, I think he should do.
I was rewatching.
He should do a bit better with.
I think he should absolutely do better with the 5th. But the first 3, I don't think there's a lot he can do about any of them, to be honest. And the 4th one, like you say, is up for debate.
And the first one, Grabban won't score an easier goal ever. Second one is a kind of... I don't feel like he hit it as cleanly as he wanted to, but he's ended up going right in the corner, so he isn't going to get that. Third one felt a little bit like an own goal at the time, although I don't think it's been given as an own goal, where it's just ended up in with a lot of players, including the goalkeeper, going for the ball. 4th one, you can probably ask questions. 5th one, he shouldn't be getting beat.
Yeah,
it is near post, but I see a lot of keepers letting goals like that. It's not just him. The 5th one, I see a lot of keepers where I think they should have covered off the near post there, or they kind of pick a corner and don't save it and go the wrong way. So has he had a mixed start to his career? It's either like the sublime or the ridiculous, isn't it? Because he's made some great saves. Well, that's absolutely brilliant saves. That save the other night was a phenomenal save.
The Borough
power. Yeah, it was a great save.
So Neelan pushes it onto the bar, and like you say, if that goes in, the game is a completely different one. And it's not just the strength of hand to save it, but it's the reactions to save it as well. Yeah. That ball is going at some speed, and I think Neeland is at his best maybe when he doesn't have to think about things so much.
I think maybe his best when he's not at Villa Park.
Yeah.
He's not got the Holt end on his back.
Well, Audrey Lynch actually
2
says...
clean sheets, last 2 away games.
Audrey Lynch says, yay, the dream team. I assume that's me and you.
I mean, that's very kind.
Yeah.
Any team with you and it being called
Whoa,
the dream team is
come on.
particularly kind.
I've been back 20 minutes and that's hurtful. With regard to Neeland, do you think that his nerves get to him at Villa Park? Seems to play better away from home.
I do think that, and I completely understand it. I mean, you touched on it, and then I've ended up going towards the goalkeeper. But you were talking about Chester. Some of the stuff I was hearing about Chester in the whole end. Get a grip. Okay, has he been as good as the last 2 seasons? No, he hasn't. But I'm not having it.
You sounded very much like David Brent there. Okay, well, we're going to do this. But is it like
panning him? So the guy next to my dad on Wednesday, I wanted to throttle him.
Yeah, you said that on Twitter, didn't you?
He was making out as if Chester's the worst player ever to pull on a Villa shirt, and it's just not the case. I nearly said something.
I was going to say, did you call him up? No, you just went onto social media and gave it all that, didn't you?
No, I thought it was best not to say anything. But it's just, I mean, to be honest, when you conceded 5 goals, I can't really jump up and say anything. It's just that you've got every right to criticise players, and I've got nothing against people that criticise people. It's the way that some people do it. I just don't like it. Maybe it's just me, but I just do not like it.
Yeah, I think there's some. I think sometimes it's deserved. I think the speculation about Neeland and obviously Tom Heaton, Tom Hutton,
Alan's brother,
and my relationship with Hutton. Tom Heaton, that speculation I think is kind of fair because the Villa team is playing so well at the moment. It's just only natural to look at the weakest link essentially and go, where could we potentially improve? Now the goalkeeping position is one of those positions that we could improve. That and centre back and like kind of cover for centre back, I would say. So it's kind of natural, but criticising our club captain who's done so much and still coming back from injury as well, and
playing with an injury last week as well,
been thrown back in to make sure that we have a centre back because we've been left so short this season following Bruce's departure. That doesn't make sense to me. There seems to be two paths that you can go down. The ones that you can fairly kind of assess and go, yeah, okay, we need to talk about that transfer wise, and those that it's just kind of talking for talking's sake.
You can criticise players. You're paying your money. You're entitled to your opinion, but some of the levels of abuse. There's a word here I want to say, but I know I'm going to say it wrong. It begins with
vitriol.
Yeah. What? I don't get it. I don't get. Why are you so angry? Get a life.
Yeah. Again, it seems fair that you could get angry when we were bottom of the Premier League and playing really terrible football.
I got angry then. That's the exception.
Exactly. But when you're
people there, like Julian Lescott was taking the absolute mick.
Yeah.
Go for it. Have a pop. But you'd have thought Chester was Julian Lescott on Wednesday with this guy.
Yeah.
Honestly. My dad can probably back me up in the comments, and Kev, who was sat next to me, they can back me up. It was unbelievable. It was so bad. I wonder if he celebrated Chester's goal.
Do you know what?
On Saturday.
I just saw Tom Hutton followed you. Isn't that weird?
No, that's not my phone. That's your phone. He's followed you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He said followed me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
He's followed me.
You're tired. Yeah.
He
obviously could hear you talking.
Anyway, there you go.
Is that why you said it, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you saw it, caught a glimpse of it, and then said Tom Hutton.
There you go.
People are saying, I can't remember if someone's asked this in a question, but people are saying, if Jed Steer comes back, he's automatically number 1. I don't think he is. I don't think that happens. Because I don't think he's as comfortable with the ball at his feet as Neeland. And one thing I will say for Neeland is he starts the counter-attack off very well. His quick rollouts are a big part of how we're playing at the moment. I mean, I don't think any opposition watch this podcast, so let's hope I'm not drawing attention to it.
Yeah.
His rollouts are very good. He distributes the ball very quickly and gets us on the attack.
This is in the same bracket for me as putting somebody in the box if you want to score goals.
Yeah.
Starting the game off quickly at the back. When we were last year, a couple of years ago, all it was hit long ball and get it
to Hogan.
Possession high up the pitch. Would lose it, but then at least we'd be up high up the pitch. Playing out from the back is just so good. Good to see. I feel like Twanzebe is probably the most improved player this year so
leaps and
far.
bounds.
And he seems so comfortable with his feet, and he's playing the ball forward, lofted, short passes. Obviously, John McGinn has come under a lot of praise as well. But playing out from the back is so refreshing.
Yeah, it's great what we do, because even from kick-off, before Dean Smith came in, we used to just knock the ball back to Jedinak. He basically used to kick it out of play. That was our kick-off. It was like rugby.
Yeah.
Kicking for touch, which was just bizarre. I never understood it. And you talk about Twanzebe, the way he's bringing the ball out, he either brings it out and he's astute enough on the ball to play a nice forward pass if Grealish has dropped into space, or one of the wingers, or Horahan's then drop deep, give it to him. We start again. I like him in that deep role. I think he's a very good distributor of the ball. He got man of the match, didn't he? Mm-hmm. On Sky, and it felt quite smug, to be honest, because I think Danny Higginbotham's one of the best pundits around. I think he's such a good pundit. And when he gave Horahan man of the match, I thought that's good, because he's saying what I say. I felt vindicated.
Did you?
Yeah, because I think he's great in that deep line midfield. And again, it gets us going a bit more quicker. No disrespect to Whelan, I like Whelan, but when he was there against Blues in the first half, the ball wasn't moving as quick as it does. I think Connor under Smith really suits that sixth position. Really, really suits it. And him getting man of the match, as I say, validated what I think I've been saying all season about playing the three of them together and that it would work.
It's been a weird week at Villa Park, hasn't it? Obviously, the second City derby win, absolutely great. I kind of want to get your impression. For obviously, you were there, I wasn't. You have that win, and then you go to the Forest game, 5-5. Was that a point gained or 2 points dropped, or how do you assess that? How did you feel coming out of that game?
I was a bit upset because obviously we got to 5-4, and then they had 10 men. So at that point, I would expect us to perhaps go on and score again. I kept saying to those around me, we need another goal even at 5-4, because I said if Grabban gets one chance, he'll take it. And
which we saw last year.
I'd forgotten how good Grabban was.
Yeah.
I think I'd underestimated him again. I didn't realise how good he was before he came to us, and then he'd gone, and it was, to me, I just thought, oh well.
Yeah.
No loss. But he's a good guy. I still prefer Abraham.
Well, he's got 12 goals himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, he scored a couple again at the weekend, I think. I still much prefer Abraham. There's something about Abraham I really like. But Grabban is at this level, you'll struggle to find a more complete striker. I think he does a bit of everything. So from that respect, I was a bit annoyed. You got the then that we were 2-0 down after 6 minutes, and would I have taken a draw at full time at that point? Absolutely. It's a team around us, so they haven't gained anything on us in that respect. I just looked at it as a freak write-off game. If you played that game again, that would never happen. It was just a complete one-off. It was just a ridiculous game.
Did you enjoy it as it was happening?
Oh yeah, it was for a laugh. It's funner.
Yeah.
But again, another thing, we've been crying out. We just wanted to be entertained, and now we've got that. We are being entertained. Okay, we might not win every week, but the fans, even when we were winning, were complaining in general under Bruce because they wanted to be entertained. So when you draw a game 5-5, I don't think you've got any right to complain, really, because this is what we asked for.
Especially when you're 2-0 down so early and you've fought back.
Yeah, I was never worried at 2-0. I said, I think we'll get back in. I've real confidence in this team, because you just know they'll score goals. I looked at Forest and thought, well, their keeper's a bit of a joke. Pantilimon.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw him dive all night. Pantilimon. So he's not a great goalkeeper. I just fancied us to score goals, but I didn't see us conceding 5.
I feel like El Ghazi's goal in that game has been vastly underrated. I don't feel like people are talking about
Touch and finish.
It was beautiful. It's
good ball from Taylor as well.
Very good ball. But the way he brings it down with his right, and it just kills it dead, and then strikes it beautifully with his left. You're talking about a very few goalkeepers in the world that could have saved that. And the quality with which...
Pantilimon is 8'5" as well. So
yeah.
If anyone's going to save it.
The quality with which you need to do that, really, I feel like that was a turning point for El Ghazi, because he's kind of come in under Bruce, but in a losing team, and
Bruce didn't want him.
Didn't have the confidence to play either. Whereas now he's in this wonderfully attacking team in a system where there's 4 wingers all competing at a very, very high level. He's really set the bar for himself there with that finish, because we've seen him have a couple of pot shots and he's tried to take his chances, not had it. That goal, I really like that goal.
Yeah, Bruce didn't sign him, I don't think. Bruce didn't want him, because he got a goal and an assist in his first 2 games, and then we never saw him again. So he was clearly never a Bruce signing.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about him the other day, and they described our guys as he's got a bit about him. I agree with that. Yeah. I think he's very, very skillful, very, very direct, and if we get him right, he'll be a weapon that perhaps some had written off a little bit.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. TI Ghost Wave. With how well Balassi and El Ghazi played last game, what will the likes of Kodja and Adoma need to do in order to make the starting 11, or are they set to be impact players now?
thing is, you just said the same about El Ghazi a few weeks ago. Things change very quickly. Yeah. It's very fluid, isn't it? Like, you need a squad. There's a lot of games, especially over December. There's a ridiculous amount of games over December, so everyone will get minutes. Everyone will play. There'll have to be an element of rotation, except for at centre back where we don't really have anyone. Although we're supposed to be signing James Collins this week, aren't we?
Yes,
which is probably a good move.
It's made the notes
over Christmas. It's made the notes, so it's news. I'd say that's a pretty savvy thing to be doing over Christmas. Never particularly rated him first time round. I thought he a bit rash. Was never really in the position that he should be in, and I always felt that was why he made so many blocks, because he was never where he should be in the first place. But we need another centre back.
If Chester gets injured,
but he's been playing with an injury.
Yeah.
So you need another centre back, and Jedinak isn't a centre back for me.
Oakley Dokley, what's our best combination of our front three? Tammy has the main role, but who, in your opinion, should get the wide spots first? Albert, Kodja, Balassi, or El Ghazi? Or should we just rotate them? I mean, they're going to be rotated.
They will be
rotated.
rotated.
It matters what we think.
I would always pick Balassi. I really like him. I just think he's too good.
So good. Last couple of games, absolutely on fire.
Too good for the Championship. I mean, he gave the left back in the Forest game absolute nightmares, and then we moved him to the left hand side, which I didn't really understand, because the left back was having a nightmare against him. He brought him down for a penalty, got sent off. I think it was the left back that got sent off as well. He absolutely murdered him. So I'd always pick Balassi, just because I think he takes people away from Jack as well. I think maybe that's one of the reasons he plays on the left. Actually, just thought of that now, because Jack plays on the left of the central midfield. So if you've got Balassi there as well, it's harder to double up on Jack, so it may perhaps gives him a bit more space.
Yeah. While we're talking about the strikers, Steve Patmar on Twitter, with the blistering form of Tammy, how do you think Scotty Hogan is feeling? Do you see him moving out on loan in January?
No.
And how is Tom finding sleep deprivation and nuclear nappies? Well, let's do the first part of that first.
I mean, we've pretty much done both those things already.
Yeah, the nappy situation is a weird one. You just don't know what you're going to expect. I had a massive poo the other day, and you know, it's unpleasant.
What about Archer? Alfie? Who's Archer?
Archer? My illegitimate child, Archer. Very good. That was a good joke.
It was a good joke if I got the name right.
Completely lost.
Yeah, killed myself.
All right, let's talk about the first part of that, though. With the blistering form of Tammy, do you think Scotty Hogan is going to get a chance? Will he go out on loan?
I don't think he'll go out on loan, because as we've just been saying, you need a squad. You have to have a squad. If anything happens to Tammy, Scott plays. So he won't be going on loan. He'll sit there and be realistic that really Tammy's undroppable, so there's nothing he can do at the moment. He's just got to be ready when he does get his chance, and when he does get the little cameos, make an impact, which is what he did on Saturday to finish the game off. So obviously he'll want to play, and his time at Villa for him really hasn't gone as well as he'd have hoped. But things can change very quickly. Things can turn on a sixpence.
Certainly can. They can indeed. Let's talk a little bit about the Birmingham game.
Yeah.
Just because we haven't in the podcast, and it was such a great game. Essentially, I think for a neutral, it was a really open, attacking game. Obviously, Birmingham started off strong. They looked very good for the first half an hour or so.
Stifled us.
Yeah, and obviously got the lead. And then could have scored again. Che Adams hitting the post with a very smart finish. Gary Monk has them playing pretty well, and
they're punching.
Their crossing ability was very, very good as well. They got behind us a couple of times and looked dangerous. But Villa, just kind of worked ourselves into the game. Again, no element of panic at all in it, and just got better and better and better.
Again, I was never particularly concerned, even at 1-0 down.
Sorry to just jump in. Before the game starts, are you a nervous kind of guy? Do you get a bit of the dolens?
Usually, but just for that game, usually. Yeah. But the last 2 years, I've just nothing.
Really?
Just not been concerned.
Right.
I just feel that we're the better side. I just feel that we are better than them.
Yeah.
We're more equipped to win the football game. They do very well. I mean, they've won both their games since, to be fair.
Yeah.
So that's probably a better result than people think, because they are doing well. I don't like them, but they're doing well. They've got a couple of decent players. I thought that Mahoney was quite dangerous on the wing as well. If they'd gone 2-0, I think the Forest game shows that it wouldn't have been a mega stress for us. So I still think we'd have got back in, because there's just goals everywhere. They missed that chance and then just switched off. They had a mad 5 minutes and suddenly they find themselves 2-1 down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether you saw it, the Davo, the Birmingham fan cams guy.
I haven't seen it. No.
He said something about for 9 minutes it was dreamland, like it was Stevenage going to the new campus. It was such a weird thing to write.
Yeah.
I thought it was really strange, but like they were loving life for 9 minutes, but it just got turned on its head again. And if I was one of their fans, I'd be fuming at going in 2-1 down.
Yeah.
Absolutely fuming. And then they've started the second half not switched on, give away a silly penalty. He was lucky for it, but
it is silly though.
He's given the referee a decision to make. He's gone in for it, and quite clever from Tammy the way he shoved him because the referee didn't see it. So that was quite clever, but just a disastrous end to the one half and a disastrous start to the next.
Yeah,
for them, that was their when they were playing well in the first half. That was their chance to beat us at Villa Park, and I think they've got a bit of an inferiority complex.
Sure.
Against as well. Some of the stuff I've seen from them afterwards, I mean, they love to talk before a game. The Blues fans absolutely love to make idiots of themselves before the game. Like after the game, I thought I'd go on Twitter and have a bit of fun for a week or so until the next game. Just some of the stuff they say. Well, you should beat us the amount of money you've spent. Just, they spent a fortune.
That's a classic, isn't it?
That's some of the stuff they come out with. Absolute trash bag. And I thought, I don't know, I can't even remember some of the stuff I've said on Twitter, but I've had some fun.
You've been quite good on Twitter.
Have I?
I would if I was to summarise in an emoji, I'd do a little fire one.
Yeah, would you?
There's
been on flames.
On flames. Yeah, woke.
But yeah, it's just. I just thought there's no point saying anything before, just in case we don't win.
I enjoyed the one going back to Middlesbrough. That guy about Fortress Riverside or whatever it was. That was an enjoyable tweet. It's worth having a little look at Dan's tweets.
I've had some good moments on Twitter.
Yeah, in recent times.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back to bite me at some point, but at the moment
you're getting a lot of heat for all your name drops, and that has escalated.
Me?
Yeah,
not Dolan.
No, definitely you. You're trying to catch up with Dolan.
No.
I think
no one catches the big man Dolan.
Declan Pearce has given you a lot of grief.
Declan Pearce is the worst person out there for name drops. I would have recognised Declan Pearce in the stand at Villa Park. I'd only recognise him if I saw him in corporate.
Oh wow, cold. Really special moment for Jack Grealish to score against the Blues, and like I say, it's such an important goal as well to give us a 2-1 lead at half time. Do you think that affects him for the rest of the season, or do you think that's just like a tick, thank you next, Ariana Grande, move on?
I mean, I had no idea what that meant, what Ariana Grande means.
Thank you next, it's a new song.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
number one.
Good to see you keeping up with the pop music.
I've listened to so much Radio 1.
Have you?
And it's on like every third
I'd have had
song.
you down as a Radio 2. A Radio 2.
I mean, I set you up for that one.
Classic FM.
I don't mind Smooth Radio.
No, I'd have definitely had you down for not Radio 1.
Oh yeah.
No. I can imagine you not being allowed to listen to Radio 1 when you were younger. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know.
Not when it got to late, like Tim Westwood.
Yeah,
you might swear.
Not Tim Westwood in Cambridgeshire. Cambridgeshire, is that a place? Is that right? It didn't sound right when it came out of my mouth. Cambridgeshire. That doesn't
Cambridgeshire. Anyway, Jack Grealish, push on for the rest of the season, or it's just another one?
Of course he pushes on, of course.
But does the goal matter to him?
Yeah, of course it matters to him. Him and his family, he's ticked a massive box. It's something off the bucket list.
That's what I mean, though. Does that spur him on, or is it just another accolade that he's going to remember for the rest of his career?
In the interviews afterwards, he said how much it meant to him, but he was saying he wants to get these clubs to the Premier League and play in the Premier League. So the aim is to push on for the rest of the season and get Villa up. That'll be his ultimate aim. I mean, he did well to play in that game because he wasn't very well. Right. By all accounts. So the whole week leading up to the game, and I think the night before and in the morning he was struggling, but you couldn't tell on the pitch because he just played his normal game, didn't he? Doesn't let the occasion get to him. Got fouled an immense amount of times, and to pop up and score a header at the back stick, you'd have never put money on that, would you? But it was so emotional just to see him, and I think he was really emotional as well. Obviously dedicated to his little brother that passed away when they were younger, Keelan. So just a great moment for the family, a great moment for him, and I know how pleased all the family are and how chuffed they all were. It was just a nice moment. He's gone there on Sunday, gone to Villa Park on Sunday and done something that we would all love to do. As Villa fans, I mean, we'll never do it.
No.
Just to score again at that moment's gone definitely.
Yeah, I would think so.
To score against Birmingham, I can't imagine what that would have felt like. It must have felt. It must be. He said it's the best moment of his career, didn't he? After the game, it was written all over his face with the celebrations. It was quite emotional. I felt quite emotional in the crowd. I don't know what. I think
the one of your own kind of.
Yeah, because you know for a fact that he's had a season ticket since he was about 6 years old. You know that if Jack wasn't playing for Villa, his family would still be going to the game. Jack would be going to the games if he wasn't a professional footballer. So I think it just means more. Although I've got to then say the Hutton goal felt kind of the same, even because he's like
an adopted son.
Adopted as I never used to like him a few seasons ago. He's turned me completely round. That goal. It felt like everyone was just lent back, like dreaming that he was going to score. And I've got to be honest, when he got in the box, I thought he's going to score here.
Yeah.
And he just rolled it in. It was a good finish as well on his left foot. I mean, again, I don't think the Birmingham goalkeeper's up to much. He's not a good goalkeeper, Lee Camp.
Who was it, Lee Camp? Yeah,
he's past his best.
Yeah. He's been around for ages.
I know,
Lee
he shouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
He shouldn't still be playing second-level football, second-tier football.
But Hutton started so far back, fairly within his own half, and you just, like you say, you kind of build and build and build. I'm sitting on my couch. You're obviously in the stands, and
you're obviously in America, sitting on your couch.
On my couch, on my sofa, my settee.
Yeah, I see you 3-piece.
Yeah, still got the wrapping on. But you just kind of go up and up and up, and Hannah's napping in the next room, and you got to kind of stifle it a little bit. But it was amazing, it was a beautiful moment. Obviously, he jumped in with the crowd, and
he didn't stop running, did he?
No,
the shot just continued to run into the whole end.
I had a few requests to change the name of Alfie to Alan for a bit, or at least get Hutton as a middle name.
You've got James' middle name, haven't you?
I have.
After me, that's my middle name.
Yes, that was why.
Had to have some Villa links in somewhere, so you got the middle name in.
Would you go for a Villa name if the opportunity arises?
I don't know with the rabbit. I've done it with the rabbit, haven't I?
Don't have to give anything away, but
I don't know. I don't think I'd get it past her. She'd know.
Yeah,
she knows too much.
That's
the problem.
I suggested that we go for Alfie, James, Hutton, Julian, and it was shot down very, very quickly.
No, I've got the rabbit, haven't I, Chester? I got that past her because she liked the name. She thought it was a good rabbit name.
And you had a few Villa
Chester.
bits of your wedding.
She turned down Gregory because I wanted to call Chester Gregory to begin with, and she wasn't having it.
Right.
No, it was after John Gregory, obviously. Yeah. We nearly had Tails as well, but that didn't get through.
Tails would have worked.
Yeah, I thought that, but Chester got through.
Fair enough. What a brilliant goal, and a great afternoon by all
really
accounts.
Was a good afternoon.
Yeah,
really was.
Did you get on the beers afterwards?
Couldn't, because I had to drive back to London.
Oh, did you?
I got back very late as well, lots of traffic.
Oh.
And then obviously did the drive again for the first game. I was very tired last week. That's why I'm a bit run down now. Putting in the miles for it.
You have been putting in the miles. Is there anything else you want to talk about over the last week before we look at the table?
I don't think. Well, you've got the notes, mate, so you know what there is to talk about.
Well, yeah, but
I've actually got nothing in front of me here except for a lot of packs of one chewing gums
and a Reese's
Pieces that I've had.
How's the throat feeling after that? Reese's Pieces?
I mean, my throat's not feeling great anyway, but it feels like it's getting worse through the podcast. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, let's have a look at the table. Villa up to 8th now, 31 points, and only 3 points off 4th. Actually, West Brom in 4th on 34.
Big one on Friday.
Yeah, very much so. So, still chasing Norwich City, who are having a remarkably good season under Farke. They are doing very, very well. Leeds 1 point behind them on 39, and then you've got Borough, who we obviously beat, on 35. West Brom, Forest, Sheffield United, Derby, all on 34. And then us and Birmingham, just 1 point behind Villa still. Like you say, they won their last 2 games, Birmingham City, so doing very well under Gary Monk as well. It's an exciting time, and we've said it from the start. This campaign is so open because there is no real dominant team. The fact that Norwich City are leading in December...
They won't keep up this form.
They're a bit like the Bristol City.
Yeah, there's no way there's no way they'll keep this up.
Yeah.
They might very well go up, but I'm saying they won't keep it up to this level of winning every week at the moment. It's
quite important to note that we identified November as a really difficult month, and we've won 4 in 5, drawn the other, and I mean, I haven't got the predictions in front of me.
Oh, he's failed. I was meant to say to you, get the predictions printed out.
I mean, you could have got the predictions.
We've got to do December's predictions.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do that on the fly now, so there's a record of it.
That's fine. We'll do that. We'll go through November's predictions. I'll go through that with Dolan next week. But let me just get the fixtures up. But nobody would have predicted 13 points from 15 over the last 5 games.
I mean, I don't know what I predicted. I'm imagining it wasn't that. Are you getting the fixtures up or shall I?
I'm getting the fixtures up.
I think I'm quicker. I'm going via the app.
Oh, I've got them here.
Oh, I've got them as well. We'll have to write off the first one because we've missed that already. 1st of December, Middlesbrough.
Oh, yeah, I was going to go for a 3-0 Villa win.
I did have us down to win, but there's no proof. I did say that we'd win that game. There's no proof.
It's difficult, isn't it, with all these games?
Yeah.
And having babies and stuff.
To be honest, mate, looking at the fixtures through December, it's going to be tight sticking podcasts and stuff in the middle of that.
Yeah, well, let's go through the fixtures now then.
Okay.
You talk through the fixtures, I'll write down the score predictions. How about that?
Okay, go on then. So West Brom on Friday, which if anyone in America, in particular New York, is listening to the podcast now, I'll be at the Football Factory on Friday to watch the game. I think it's called the Football Factory. It's the Villa pub in New York anyway. I'll put something on social media, but I'll be there on Friday to watch the game because I'm going to New York tomorrow.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Looking forward to it.
I bet you are. How long are you going for?
Week. Well, 8 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Usually people go for like 5 days to New York.
Overnight. No, you need longer than that.
New York's
travelling
great.
that distance for...
Did you get tickets to the Knicks?
I haven't sorted it yet.
You can pick 'em up
I'll
on
sort
the
it
day.
when I'm there.
Yeah.
I'll be going. I'll be going. If I don't make it to the Knicks, I'll go to the Mets or the Nets. I can't remember. Nets. It's the Nets, isn't it?
The Knicks aren't very good, so you'll be able to get tickets.
That's good. It's good to know.
I'll lend you my jersey.
Have you got a Knicks jersey?
Yeah.
I might even have one. No, I haven't got one. I've got lots of teams, but not the Knicks. I'll probably pick one up while I'm there. While I'm out there, you have to let me know if you want anything from the NBA store. I'm looking forward to visiting that.
Oh, yeah, I love a store.
Yeah, me too. A store, you love a couch. A store, you love anything that's American.
Garbage, trash.
You love anything that's American.
Yeah, very much.
So West Brom.
Aluminum.
I
Sorry.
don't even know what that means.
Aluminium, yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 to Villa.
Where is it?
It's at the Hawthorns. I wouldn't be going to New York if it was a Villa Park because I based this holiday purely around the Villa
Did you?
fixtures. Yeah.
Did you fly the next day?
Well, I'm back just before the Stoke game.
Very nice. I will go for 2-0 Villa.
Okay.
Hang on, let me write these down.
You've got to remember to chase Rollo and Dolan for predictions as well.
I think you can do that. I've got enough on my plate, mate, to be honest.
Nothing to do, Tom. You're off work this week.
That's true. It doesn't feel like I'm off work, let me tell you that.
No.
I've already put it in wrong.
Have you ever used a phone before? The way you're typing that in is...
I'm very tired. Hang
So
on.
we both Villa there. We've both gone heavy Villa there.
Yeah, but you've gone 2-1, I've gone 2-0.
Yeah.
There we go. Right, great radio. All right, next.
Aston Villa v Stoke City. I'll let you go first this time.
Okay. Aston Villa v Stoke City. I'm going to go 2-0 again. Oh, 2-9. You?
No 5-5 in there. I am going to say, when I've seen Stoke, they've not impressed me. I'm going to go 3-0 to Villa. I'm going Dolan.
Oh, we're going Dolan
I'm
here,
going
aren't we?
Dolan-sized here on these predictions.
All right, next.
Aston Villa v Leeds, Sunday the 23rd of December. What a toughie.
Second, aren't they, at the moment? They're
Yeah,
chasing
doing
it.
well. Again, no, I watched them the other week and they weren't that great.
What's the date on this one?
23rd of December. Fatigue might have kicked in. Well, there's been an 8-day gap since the game from that point. I will say 1-1.
I was going to go 1-1.
Well, you still can.
I am going to go 1-1. Yeah, I don't want to go win. And yeah, I can't predict a loss right now.
I was tempted to go for defeat for that one.
I think it's really hard to predict a loss when we're playing so well. Leeds are obviously a very, very good side, but they are a bit hit and miss. They went through a bit of a sticky patch, didn't they?
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll be a really, really interesting game. Does that affect your Christmas plans at all? Or did you have to go and see Angie's family or anything like that?
What it has done is, I think it might have done my dad over potentially, because I said to my mum, don't worry, there won't be a game on a Sunday. It'll be Friday or Saturday, because that's what they usually are. And then, of course, they've moved it to the Sunday after I've said that. It hinders me a little bit in terms of getting back to London, but it's fine. I'm in Birmingham anyway for something on the Saturday night. So in a way it suits me, in a way it doesn't.
Is Ange annoyed about that movement?
She doesn't get annoyed, she just accepts the way things are. With Villa, she's very good.
That is great.
She's very, very good. I mean, we're going to New York on Friday and she's quite happy to go to the pub to watch the Villa game.
That's good.
Which not all wives would be. Not all wives would be happy with that on their holiday.
No, especially if it's in New York.
She says it's your holiday to me.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Are you doing something special for her while you're there?
I mean, I'm going on the holiday.
Right, yeah, sure.
I mean, I like New York. I've been a couple of times. I'm not really much of a holiday person. I don't really like going away. I don't really like living in London. I just like being in Birmingham. That's me. Quite boring.
Right.
But I like New York. I really, really like New York.
Do you go shopping when you're there?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big shopper, mate. You know I'm a big shopper, as is.
I love New York, but I
buying loads
hate
of
shopping. What a waste of time.
Why? Yeah, but you haven't shopped since... I mean, look at those jeans. You haven't shopped since 1972.
Got these from a charity shop.
Oh, God, Tom.
That's going to be my New Year's resolution. I'm not going to buy anything that's not from a charity shop, except for like work stuff.
What about nappies and things like that?
Oh yeah, for clothes for me.
So you are going to buy things that aren't from charity shops then?
Clothes we're talking about.
So they're from a charity shop?
They're from a charity shop, yeah.
Tom.
They're nice. I like these jeans.
Are they?
Oh, except they got chocolate on them.
Is that for my Reese's Pieces?
It might be. Right, Swansea, next.
Again, I don't want to keep predicting us to win, but...
Oh, we're going to beat Swansea for sure.
Well, now you've said that, we're definitely not going to beat them.
2-0. 2-0 win.
I want to be a bit more conservative and to go draw again.
Okay.
Because just for the game point of view, isn't it? I want to win the predictions. No, I can't, though. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go silly 2-2. Silly 2-2.
Silly 2-2.
Yeah, you
Not
can
just
write
a
that
regular
down.
one.
It's a silly 2-2.
Imagine if it is a silly 2-2-2 and 3 people are sent off or something.
Yeah.
Any
And
more?
then Preston away, 29th of December.
Preston. We're going to win that, aren't we? You go first.
I'm going to go 3-1 Villa.
I am going to go... I haven't got us conceding very many here. I'll go for 2-1 Villa. So another positive
I
month.
mean, away from home, we're keeping clean sheets at the moment.
Yes, true. You've gone 3-1. I will pick up the results for Dolan and...
I'm going to say that 2-2 against Swansea is a fatigue-based 2-2 because we only played 3 days prior, and Swansea will have had an extra day to recover.
Interesting. Interesting. There you go. There's the predictions, and I will find out how we did in November, and me and Dolan will go through that next week.
Yeah.
I think. Right, let's have a little look at some of the questions. Apologies for my notes. I got two. I'm on 2 phones this week.
I mean, you're always on 2 phones. You always turn up with 2 phones.
But I usually have the notes out, don't I? And I embed the
Let's do the
questions.
competition.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the book's sat there. Let's do the competition.
Will you talk about it then?
Pass me the book, please.
Oh, I can model it.
Yeah, you model it. So, saw Rob Bishop, legend of Aston Villa folklore, the other night, and he gave me a book, his Euros and Villains book,
If you
signed.
don't know, sorry.
People should know who Bish is.
Yeah, but if you don't know, he's a Villa historian, isn't he?
He works at the club. He's worked at the club for years, writing match reports on the website. He used to work for the Evening Mail when the Birmingham Mail was the Evening Mail. He's just an all-round legend. Most people will know who Bish is, still involved with the club now. So he wrote this book, Euros and Villains. It's basically just a history of every game that Villa have played in Europe, I believe. I've actually got it myself and haven't started it yet, but I have had a flick through, and it does look a very good book. It's very nicely presented. Lee Childs of Jack Reacher fame does the forward, so very nice of Rob to donate that to us to give away as a prize. So all you have to do to win this book, which was quickly decided before the podcast started because I hadn't thought of anything, is comment somewhere on social media or on YouTube or on iTunes just offering Tom some fatherly advice. If you offer any piece of fatherly advice, put hashtag Tom's a dad in there as well. Just so fatherly advice, hashtag Tom's a dad, and you will be considered for the draw.
The funniest advice generally will win, I think.
Probably when we look through it, the one we like the best. So for me, if I'm picking, the more abusive you are towards Tom, the
you
more
won't be picking. You won't be here.
No, it's got to run more than a week, or has it not? Is it going to run a week? You've got your next podcast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I want to be involved in the choosing process. Usually, if I was involved, the more abusive you were towards Tom, the more likely you would be to win. So if I'm not picking, I don't know what you do. If you and Dolan, I don't know what you two will conjure up.
This has got some really nice images.
Imagery.
Obviously. I haven't read through it, but it's really nicely presented.
It's good. It's nice to look back at some of the games that you've been to. For me, it's like even there, see that old Muller kit.
I was going to say
nostalgic memories. It's a really, really good book. It'll be really enjoyable to read. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, fatherly advice. Hashtag Tom's a dad. Give us some advice.
A bit turfed out the booth. Our pals just walked behind us. We've only got about 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
We've got 10 minutes.
Well, we did book it till 9, but
yeah.
You know what? We're not doing real work in here. People are here to do real work.
That's true. All right. Well, we'll have to shelve the questions then. For
I mean, we've been going 54 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's an astute podcast.
It was a busy week, and we're giving away something, so that's quite nice, isn't it?
So
we didn't get to James Collins. His 5-week deal should kick in this week at some point. Good cover, and we'll just basically add cover, won't he?
I'll get Roller to clip something up with that competition so it goes on social media for people to see as well. Although if you're not watching the podcast or listening to it, you probably don't deserve to win.
Agreed.
So good stuff. So that's it, I think.
Yeah.
I'll do a quick outro.
Please.
Shall I? You don't want to be put back into that arena.
First time back, and I'm very tired.
Yeah, fair enough. We're all tired, mate. Because you got a kid. It's not an illness. We're all tired.
He has had an illness.
That's true. I did think, as I said, that wasn't the right terminology to use. Thank you ever so much for listening or watching this podcast. We really, really appreciate it. If you could leave us a review on iTunes and subscribe to us on YouTube with your post notifications on, that would be absolutely brilliant. Also, comment with your thoughts on the podcast and your thoughts on Villa at the moment, and don't forget to enter the competition. Hashtag Tom's a dad. That is the worst hashtag. now I've said it back a few times. That is the worst hashtag that there has ever been. If you could also give the video a like if you are watching via YouTube, then that would be brilliant. I'm off on my hollybob, so there will be match previews and stuff going on, but I won't be involved in them, and you'll be doing a podcast with Dolan next week. I'll be back for fan cams at the Stoke game, but make sure you are watching all our content, even though I'm not in it. I imagine that may make it more enjoyable for some. Thanks ever so much for all your support. Thanks for watching Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.